keep coming back to Manila.
Manila is known as the capital of the Philippines, so it is the first destination of locals and international tourists visiting the Philippines, as well as the Filipinos visiting or returning to the Philippines after residing in another country. According to the director of the Manila Museum, the city of Manila has a lot to offer to local and foreign tourists, such as Intramuros, Manila, Manila Cathedral, and the last one is Luneta Park.
Intramuros is a walled city in the Philippines that is located inside the metropolitan Manila. Intramuros comes from a Spanish phrase which means inside wall, and it refers to the fortified city built by the Spanish conquistador Miguel Lopez de Legazpi at the mouth of the Pasig River shortly after 1571. Its purpose is to be the Spaniards' political and military base in Asia. Grand administrative establishments, as well as religious and educational institutions, thrive within Intramuros, where only the nation's most powerful clans, mostly from Spanish descent, could settle. Intramuros, also known as the Walled City, is a historical and culturally significant location. With its cobbled streets and well-preserved architecture from 100 years ago, you'll wonder if you're still in the Philippines. That is why many visitors and locals both decide to take an Intramuros tour whenever they visit the city. Between the Intramuros wall are the traces of 300 years of Spanish rule in the form of grand churches and colonial houses. While you can roam the streets on your own, a historic Intramuros walking tour is the best way to have a better understanding of the country's history.
Intramuros became historical because it plays an important part to our country's history. It is one of the popular destinations for a visitor to our hometown. It is the oldest district and is called the Walled City. Historically, it is the seat of the Spanish government when they colonized the Philippines. One more thing that makes Intramuros historical is the Port Santiago, which is where our national hero Dr. Rizal was detained before his execution. It was located on the Pasig River, where it was constructed in 1590 as a defense against pirates. It is part of the Intramuros section of Manila.
Manila Cathedral. The Manila Cathedral is the most recent version of the long-lasting Church of Manila. It was officially known as the Minor Basilica and Metropolitan Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, located in Plaza Roma, Intramuros, Manila, and Manila's ancient walled city within today's contemporary metropolis. The first church, named La Purísima Immaculada Conception, was built between 1571 and 1583 and is dedicated to the Immaculate Conception, a term for the Blessed Virgin Mary, the country's patroness. The cathedral serves as the Archbishop of the Manila's Episcopal See, and the city was destroyed by a fire that burned La Purísima Immaculada Cathedral. From 1760 until 1852, a Baroque-style cathedral was constructed under the direction of Juan de Luna Uguccioni, a Florentine engineer and architect. The cathedral was destroyed when it was struck by an earthquake, and engineer Don Nicolas Valdez renovated the ancient Baroque-style cathedral and transformed it into a neoclassical-style church between 1858 and 1868. But a major earthquake devastated the city again in 1868, destroying the cathedral.
From 1879 to 1945, the cathedral was rebuilt under the direction of architect Don Vicente Serrano y Salaverry, who transformed transformed the construction into a Romanesque Byzantine style.
During the Battle of Manila in World War II, the cathedral was bombarded along with other nearby sites. In 1958, architect Fernando Ocampo reconstructed the cathedral. It revents it and designed it without replicating every details of the original build, initially as a simple parish in 1571.
Why is Manila Cathedral historical? Built initially as a simple parish in 1571, this magnificent structure has experienced countless wars and natural disasters and has hosted countless historical events, including a papal visit from Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis. Its location intramuros is also as historical as the minor basilica itself.
Luneta Park, also known as Rizal Park. In the present time, we see it as a place where we can relax and hang out with your family and friends. Behind this peaceful place, a dark and bloody event happened in this place. Formerly, the word luneta came from the French word lunette, which meant a crescent-shaped fort. It was the site of La Calzada, the social hub of Manila's elite, or where the rich people go to socialize. The elite use carriage when going to this place. Behind this, it is also a place used by the Spaniards as an execution ground for rebels and activists. Too many bloods from different people who died in the hands of the Spaniard were spilled in this place.
What makes Luneta Park historical? Luneta Park or Rizal Park became historical not just because it was the place where the elite people go and visit to relax and sightseeing, or because too many people died here. It became historical because it was the place where the three martyred priests or the Gomburza was executed. And more importantly, it was the place where our national hero Jose Rizal, a person who fought for the freedom of our country, died. He got shot behind, and in order to avoid facing the ground, he turned his bullet-riddled body to the right and fell dead facing the morning sun. The historical site which was shared has a great contribution in our country. These places witness and experience the important events that leads our country on what it is right now. We should value these places and preserve them as long as we could, in order to maintain the history, not just the place but also the persons who done so much to achieve what we have in the present time. We should be thankful and treasure these historical sites and preserve them in order for the next generation to witness and recall the important events occurs in these historical places. As we end our documentary, we just wanted to tell you that history might be seen as a boring subject, but once you go deeper, you will discover significant facts that will teach you tons of lessons that you could use in your present and future life. That's all, and thanks for watching!